When you mentioned me, it was like, oh, would you be interested in doing like an episode with Angelina Jolie? I was like, yes.
Hello, film fans. Welcome to All the Film Things. I'm your host, Elizabeth. Thank you for listening. If you're enjoying this podcast, please leave a review and a rating. Also, follow All the Film Things on Instagram for updates and more film things. Today's episode is quite different. I have done an episode on a particular person in the past. That was an episode on my favorite actor, Leonardo DiCaprio, alongside my friend and past guest, Helena Amador. That episode's in the vault. But today we are talking about one of my very favorite actresses, the one and only Angelina Jolie. Now this episode is a little different because not only we're focusing on a particular person, but because this episode has gone through several different iterations. Basically, the original plan was to have on a guest and talk about Angelina, talk about her work, impacts, why my guest is also a fan of hers. But the original guest of this episode, unfortunately, was a no-show. It would have been easier to abandon this episode, to not put an episode out, because it's a lot of editing in a short period of time. I've been told I'm a perfectionist. I guess I can admit to that now. And I don't get to do so many episodes because of it, because of the editing and, of course, the research and preparing. So it does hurt when I miss an episode, when I don't get to put one out. I am very aware that I may not have all the time in the world to continue this podcast, to bring it to success, as I really hope it will be. I think there's something good going here, and I love that people enjoy listening. I'm very incredibly grateful to those who listen and spread the word and show up on the Instagram and the YouTube channel, all of that. And I think this is a good time to say, by the way, if you enjoy this podcast, it really does help to leave a review and a rating. So getting an episode done in just a few days, I don't know if I can get it done, but I really didn't want to abandon this episode because it was an opportunity to pay tribute on a milestone birthday of one of my very favorite actresses who I consider my everything icon. Angelina has had such an impact on me. I've looked up to her for years in various ways. How she carries herself, her genuineness, her honesty, her eccentricity, is that a word? I don't know. I so admire what she's done to help people around the world through her humanitarianism, working with the UN. If you haven't watched some of her MTV diaries, traveling to really some of the poorest areas of the world, you really should. It will give you a lot more empathy and a different perspective on life, I think. And of course, her work in film. I think she's a dramatic actress that does not get the credit she deserves. The celebrity and her looks overpower that. And while I understand it, and while I'm interested in the fashion and her looks, of course, I wish there was more attention given to her dramatic performances. We'll be talking more about that later in this episode. So, I came up with a new way to include more people, past guests who are fans of hers, to talk about why they are an Angelina fan, why they admire her, why they love her work, and more. This episode is set to release on her 50th birthday, June 4th. So I wanted to honor her for this special reason, but I don't know what to expect from this episode as of this recording. I imagine it'll be experimental, a sort of mosaic. You'll probably hear more from me in this episode, which we'll see how that goes. I've been talking for a while already. I'll answer some of the questions I had initially planned. I have not much really prepared for this because it's all coming together on short-term notice. Some of these films I would love to do a deep dive into. Hopefully in the future, I'll be able to get more extensive with what I say, but I'm just trying to do my best to make this episode a reality. So I hope what I say is of substance. I had hoped to kind of dive deeper into everything, but this is kind of like a quick talk about this film a little bit, talk about this film a little bit, hear from others, just, again, an experimental mosaic of sorts, medley, to talk about Angelina. So I hope you enjoy this unique episode. hopefully it will inspire you to watch more of her films. There are certainly several hidden gems in her filmography. So I hope you enjoy listening to this episode. I don't know what it'll be, but I hope you enjoy it.
My first memory of Angelina Jolie that really stuck with me was probably from the movie Hackers and her haircut. My brother loved that movie and we watched it all the time. And I just remember her being like the coolest chick ever. She had the coolest clothes. She had this really kind of badass attitude that I loved. And I had not seen a woman like that presented on film. So there was obviously something unique and different about her that stood out.
I became an Angelina fan when I saw Girl Interrupted, but the first Angelina Jolie film I ever saw was Maleficent. I saw it opening day at the IMAX theater, which is where all films should really be shown. That's the best theater of all time. I remember it very well. I remember being stunned by her cheekbones. That kind of preoccupied my mind through much of my first watch there. I just thought, how is that possible? I just didn't know how they accomplished that. But I don't know, just when I saw Girl Interrupted, I was blown away by the moment she came on screen. I had watched the film because I was interested in a few others starring in the film, and I saw her name and I thought, I haven't seen a film of hers since Maleficent. And so I pressed play and wow, lightning in a bottle, her performance in Girl Interrupted from the instant. Similarly to Jane Fonda's first time in a dramatic role in They Shoot Horses, Don't They? It was a similar feeling of, oh, whoa, what do we have here? What is this? You're off and running with an incredible performance that is still being talked about. Her introductory scene of her yelling, "Where's Jamie? Where's Jamie?" to Winona Ryder had me absolutely stunned. It was the first time in a while I had seen a performance that really took me by surprise. And after that scene, I had to look up, is that Angelina Jolie? Because I wasn't so sure. You know, she's blonde, she has a different haircut, and at the time I hadn't really, seen a film of hers. I hadn't really kept up with her, so I had to just verify, I think that's Angelina Jolie, but I'm not sure. But just from that moment on, after seeing her performance as Lisa Rowe, I just was like, all right, I want to learn more about her films. What films of hers can I watch? Let me just do a deep dive in, as I have with actors, directors in the past that I've become interested in. I just try and watch their work and kind of, it becomes kind of like a study, like a focus in school or something, And this was 2018, I believe. So this has been 7 years in. I've seen most of her films by now.
So I became a fan of Angelina Jolie probably when I saw the movie Gia, which was kind of an obscure film at the time that I watched it because it was like late 90s, but it wasn't something that I sought out. I kind of found it by accident. Obviously, I was into photography, so I absolutely loved that movie. And then obviously when I saw her in Girl Interrupted, that just sort of solidified my feelings towards her as an artist and a performer.
What was the first Angelina film you ever saw?
That is a great question. I need to up on her filmography just to make sure I don't make it wrong. My feeling is Tomb Raider, but I feel like there's something I've seen before that.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was 100% Lara Croft Tomb Raider when it came out in 2001. This little guy was 7 or 8 years old, so I saw the iconic Angelina Jolie as we know her as the movie star. We know a really great looking actress and everything. So it's just something that was really engraved in my mind. I do remember that vividly. So I think that's the first one I've seen, and I actually saw it in theater at that time in 2001. So yeah.
Wow, you saw Angelina in theaters that young.
I'm old, I know. Thank you for reminding me.
Oh yeah, this seems to be a recurring issue. I keep reminding you of your age.
You do, actually. Thank you. So why did you say like you saw that I saw a lot of her films? Why did you say that? Like you like on Letterboxd you saw my the films that I rated or
Oh,
what?
you know, I was just on Letterboxd to see which of my friends have seen any of these films. Maybe someone has seen this random Angelina film,
Which film?
and I had seen several of them, and I was, wow, you've seen more than any of my other friends have. I saw that you saw Salt, you saw
Yeah.
By the Sea, which we talked a little bit about,
Hmm.
but there were several that I was like, wow, I didn't know you were an Angelina fan, and so I figured I'd ask. You're one of my favorite guests. So when you were like, yeah, absolutely, Angelina, let's do it. Here we are.
Yeah. You were breaking up a little bit while you were telling that, but which film would you say like it's like a hidden gem for you? Which film would you like is one of your favorite Angelina Jolie film?
Oh,
But like, do you have a deep cut? Because
oh
you
my
kind of, I think
gosh.
you
I have a
mentioned,
ranking.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I have some deep cuts.
Yeah, all of
But
them.
okay, so I was gonna ask you this when we were doing the original, like, guys, to the audience, we're doing this spontaneously right now. We were just chatting about the episode, and now we're recording a little bit. So, just letting you all know, this is like we have no notes are in front of us.
Let's call it a
This is
rehearsal.
just
It's a
just
rehearsal.
chatting.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, that might be used in the episode. It
Yeah.
gives me something to edit in the meantime.
Hmm.
Thank you.
I would say top 5 would be Hackers, Girl Interrupted, The Bone Collector. What else? I would say Tomb Raider and this is so hard. Probably Changeling and By the Sea.
So I was going to ask you, since you've seen so many, if you have a top 5 ranking of her films. I have a top 5.
Oh, I need to check. Let me just go back. I have a terrible, terrible memory. So go ahead while
Okay.
you go first, and I'll follow
Okay.
your lead.
I should mention, I do have notes on this episode, but the episode plans, as I'm sure I'll mention in the intro to this episode, went awry. So my notes may not be. Oh, I know they're applicable for this one, for this question. Okay. So it's a tad different, my favorite films versus
Yeah.
favorite performances.
Hmm.
So I'm going to go from 5 to 1 favorite films. All right. Number 5, A Mighty Heart. That is a hidden gem. A
I
lot of
haven't
her
seen
films
it.
are hidden gems.
I haven't
You
seen
haven't
it.
seen that one.
No.
It's very good, based on a true story, based on Marion Pearl, and her husband, Daniel Pearl, was a journalist, and he was kidnapped, and the film kind of follows Marion Pearl trying to
A
find
mighty
her
heart.
husband.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
Mighty
okay.
Heart, yes.
Yeah.
It was brilliant performance, very much underrated. And from my research, Angelina once said that it was her favorite film she's done.
Hmm.
So, number 4, Maria.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed this film. I was devastated that it didn't get a proper theatrical release because with the music, you want to hear that surround sound and the
Mm.
visuals. Like, it's a Pablo Larraín film. Like, his films are stunning. I saw it right when it came out on Netflix, and I was in awe because mostly because this was the first time in over 10 years she's done a dramatic role. And as I mentioned, the celebrity of her beauty, and maybe her other films, the action movies, fantasy, some of that is what she's most recognized for.
Mm-hmm.
But her dramatic talents are some of the best around, truly. I'm consistently in awe of her, and when I saw that she was doing a dramatic role, I was so excited
Mm-hmm.
because this is this sort of thing where she shines. She shines in everything she does, but her dramatic roles are just far and few between, and I was just sobbing at the end of it. It was a beautiful film. It's a sad film, but beautiful. And I just recently rewatched it and showed my friend Caitlin, and she and I are both like, she should have gotten the Oscar. She
Mm.
was brilliant, and that's part of why I am so interested. Your thoughts on the film when you watch it,
Yeah, I
because
will.
I want to know if you think she should have won the Oscar, because she was incredibly snubbed in the nominations, not even nominated.
Mm.
So wrong, but yeah.
I'm a big fan of Pablo's film. Like, I love Spencer, I
Mm-hmm.
love Jackie, so I know I'm gonna love Maria. I know for a fact I am gonna
Mm-hmm.
love it. So it's just a matter of finding the time and watching it. But like, I cannot make a top
Mm-hmm.
five, I think, unless I've seen that film. That's what
Okay,
my feeling is. So I have a
right.
like. Because I see like there's a couple I've seen, Girl
Mm-hmm.
Interrupted, Gia, like a lot of our older films,
You've
but
seen Gia.
I did, back in the days,
Ah,
back in the
that's another
days.
hidden gem. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good one.
yeah, it is actually. Yeah. So she's been extremely like she's part of the whole creative process because right now she's also doing work behind the camera. She's a director. She
Yes.
directed Unbroken and By the Sea, which
Yeah.
is something we talked about. But let's keep going with your top
Mm-hmm.
five. What's next? You
Oh yes,
mentioned
my top five.
yeah.
Number three. Okay, two and three would possibly be switched if I chose favorite,
Hmm.
but I'm going best, and I'm still like, it's tough. Okay, yes, three. I'll put Girl Interrupted.
Hmm.
Now, if we're talking about performances, this list will be a little different.
Hmm.
But I've seen Girl Interrupted so many times. It's an incredible ensemble cast. Angelina steals the film, and in my 1999 in film episode, I was talking with my friend Taylor, debating about did she steal the film or was that just what her character needed? And I think both things are true.
Yeah, I was gonna say
The
that.
character needed.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was gonna say that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, both.
Both are true. You know, the character needed someone in that role, and whew,
Hmm.
that was an explosive lightning in a bottle performance. No matter how many times I watch it, I'm still in awe of what she accomplished, especially her first introduction scene, her first scene in the film. She just comes in swinging.
It was a star-making moment as much as Margot Robbie was, I guess,
Yes.
in Wolf of Wall Street. Just like from that moment on,
Mm,
then she went on and like do Gone in 60 Seconds, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, all of
right.
those films. So, but just like when that
Hmm.
happened in in Girl Interrupted, I guess like all producers was like, all right, who's that? Of course, she was John Voight's daughter.
Yes,
Like there's that nepotism aspect to it, but I
sure.
feel like she never relied on that. She was able to make it her own and
No.
can kind of make her own path in the business. Yeah,
And a big part of that was making sure that her name was Angelina Jolie, not Angelina
yeah.
Voight.
The same thing Nicolas Cage did. Yeah, it's
Right.
exactly it's the
Yes.
same thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So she, uh, oh, the John Voight relationship is complex. They only had one film together, which was Lara Croft Tomb Raider. I think it was maybe one scene even.
Yeah,
They had one scene together.
yeah.
But okay, do you think they look like?
I do not. I don't think
You,
they do.
you don't. You think
No.
she looks more like her mom?
I guess I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I
Okay.
don't even know who her mom is
Because
and how her mom looks like. Like I'm honestly not that interested in
oh,
all the
oh,
gossips
okay.
and behind the scene. I'm more like interested in like what the actor brings to the scene
Mm,
or whatever. Honestly, I don't even know who her mom is
of
and what
course.
she looks like. Sorry, but I don't.
Hmm.
I don't know.
That's okay. I
Yeah.
just figured maybe you've seen because everyone who sees the pictures are like, "Oh my God, she looks just like her mom," and she does. She looks a lot like her mom.
I'm gonna check it out
Clearly,
right
just
now.
looking at her,
Yeah.
yeah, clearly just looking at her, you're gonna say, "Oh my gosh, she looks just like her mom." But as I've gotten older and
Oh
watched
shit.
films
Okay,
from the
yes. Yeah.
70s,
Sorry, I had to interrupt you. Yeah, I just saw it. Yeah, yeah. 100%.
yeah,
Yes. Marceline Bertrand.
yes, I know,
Yeah.
yes. So
She was a
clearly, they
French
both look
she was a French Canadian. So that's why she Marceline
French. Yes,
Bertrand. Yeah, I just said it like
yeah,
Marceline Bertrand, like a Québécois. That's exactly what it is. All right. Okay, that makes sense. She's 100% she looks like her. Yes.
yes,
She
yes.
does. Yeah.
She does look like her mom, but when you look in close on her face, on Angelina's face and John Voight's faces, they're similar. and I didn't see it until I watched his earlier work in the 70s,
Hmm.
close-ups. I would see their facial expressions. I'm like, oh, wow. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I see such
Hmm.
a resemblance in their faces. But no, just looking at them, like, absolutely, Angelina looks just like her mom.
Mm.
But he's in there a little bit, just a
I
little
don't
bit.
know. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but John Voight, once again, it's something I don't get into like politics or whatever. But in
Right.
1985, Runaway Train. I don't know if you've seen that film.
Mm,
One of the
not
greatest.
yet.
Actually, it's his
Oh,
best. It's his best performance, and it's a
really?
fantastic film. Eric Roberts is in it. It's a genius film. I
Okay.
strongly recommend it. He gets
Yeah.
so emotional, and I've never
Hmm.
seen him play a role like that. I absolutely adore
Interesting.
that film, and I would say it's his best performance. So we were at number.
1985.
Yeah, I think it's an 85, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check it out.
So
Runaway.
was he nominated for an Oscar
Oh
for that
no,
film?
no, no, no! It was not. No, no, no. This movie is
No?
not really.
Because I think,
Yeah, it's
oh no, go ahead.
1985. Oh, you might be right. Yes, he was actually.
Okay.
You're
He was,
right.
okay.
Both
Do you
of
want to
them.
know why?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because 1986 Oscars was
yeah,
Angelina's first Oscars appearance,
yeah.
where she's with her dad. She's wearing this white dress, and there's a little short red carpet interview. But that was like her first time at the Oscars, and she's adorable. I don't know how old she was, but yeah, 1975. I
I
was
had
11 years
I
old.
had no idea they were
11 years old.
nominated. So John Voight was nominated for Best Actor, and Eric
Mm-hmm.
Roberts was nominated for Best
Uh-huh.
Supporting Role. So both of them, beautiful like
Oh,
showcase of
okay, good.
acting. So actually, yeah, it did get some recognition, but I guess it's a movie that
Mm-hmm.
nobody talks about anymore. But it's something. It's something. It's stressful.
Yeah,
It's powerful. It's you like I
interesting.
love that film. Yeah.
All
So
right,
that's
I'm gonna
number
need to find
three.
that.
Number
Yes.
three, I
That's number
guess.
3.
Yeah.
2, Gia.
Yeah.
I thought this was a brilliant film. I've only seen it twice. I watched it once years ago and just recently rewatched it.
Hmm.
And I forgot how brilliant it is. I started writing a little analysis on it,
Hmm.
but I can pull up some of my notes because there was just so much to discuss about this. So, her relationship to love and dependency and drugs, it was all intertwined. Her dependencies get far more complicated when her relationship with her girlfriend is secure, along with her drug addiction. I don't have this like incorrect and analytical paper type
It's okay,
writing.
Liz. Keep
This is
going.
just my notes.
It's okay.
So, thank you. Confronted with making a choice when the girlfriend holds up a tiny amount of drugs and says, "This or me," she kisses her and seemingly chooses her before taking the drugs behind her back, and the
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend cries as she walks away. That moment was just
Mm-hmm. Oh,
because you thought
I
she
haven't
was
seen it
fully
like in.
giving up,
I
but
haven't
then
seen
the
it like in.
slowly take of the drugs.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it
Sorry,
was
I interrupted you, but I was gonna say I haven't seen like in 10,
no, go
15
ahead.
years, but
No, go ahead.
I don't specifically remember that scene.
Oh, wow.
But there's so many images
Yeah.
in that film that they're like engraved in my mind, and it's a movie that like it's you
Hmm.
like a punch. But keep going. I'm so sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. It's just like you were
Yes.
mentioning that scene,
No,
and
that's okay.
I kind of like
It's
don't remember it exactly, but I'm sure if I watch it again, like it would like
yeah.
yeah, it would immediately like yeah.
I forgot about it too. I forgot about that moment. I forgot about much of the film, actually. I forgot how explicit the film is. There's a
It
lot
is.
of sexual scenes that I
Mm-hmm.
completely forgot about. I also forgot about the tragedy, how the film ends with Gia getting AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that it didn't end well, but whew, I I forgot the specificity surrounding how she died and everything about that. It was a film made for HBO. It was a TV film.
Yeah.
She won a Golden Globe for it, but I don't think you can get nominated for an Oscar for a TV film, so
Yeah.
that must be the only reason she wasn't nominated for an Oscar. This is one of her greatest performances. Like many of her films, they're hidden gems. You don't see this one often discussed. When you said you saw this, you heard me, I was like, what? Because I don't know anyone who's seen Gia.
I've
This is
seen it. Yeah.
a rare film.
Yeah, it's a movie that's really real. We were talking about AI earlier. It's something that AI
Yes.
wouldn't do. It's very human.
Hmm.
It's
No.
authentic. That's the word I
Yes.
have to say. Like, of course, by the end,
Hmm.
it's you like in the gut, but that's kind of sometimes it's sad to say, but life sometimes is like that. So, but it's one of those movies that just
Yeah.
uh, puts you into like real situation. It's just like confront you and make you
Hmm.
ask questions and everything. But
Yes.
I don't know if she would have been nominated, even if it would have been eligible. I don't remember what year
Really?
specifically, but I don't know who was nominated that year. That's what I was gonna say. I don't remember
Well, that was the year that Gwyneth Paltrow won for Shakespeare in Love, which was controversial.
okay, so yeah, she should have been nominated then.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right.
That was easy.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, she should
easy
have been
fix.
nominated. She
Yeah,
could have
easy.
won 2 years
Yeah.
in a row, maybe. Easy, yeah, easy fix.
Yeah.
But what a character. I mean, again, with her relationship to love, it was like she so needed someone to depend on, and she needed love desperately. And then it transformed into she would fight back love. She would fight against it. There was a scene with her friend, I guess, not boyfriend, but guy that she was talking
Yeah,
to,
yeah, yeah.
whatever.
She was, yeah, yeah.
And she like slices his wrist or something, or like
Mhm.
his arm or something with a knife. And she was like laughing, and then she didn't quite realize it until after. And the same thing with her mom. Like her mom didn't want to let her live with her after all the drug problems and everything. So the dependency between drugs and love with her was tragic, but
Mm.
what a great film. Truly underrated.
And it's weird
Again, my
because
second favorite. So,
the landscape changed so much in terms of how media is being portrayed, but also like the etiquette, because this is a TV movie. But clearly, between you and me,
right.
we all know it's a picture. It's a real movie. It's not
Yeah.
like a TV movie. Of course, HBO made it, but that doesn't like it shouldn't disqualify it from like
No.
being eligible to the
Hmm.
Oscars or something like that. And sometimes people go
It's a
back and they're
gray
like,
area.
it's a TV movie, all right, whatever. But like, I guess that's why
Hmm.
people haven't seen it. But it's a great film.
All right, but my number one,
I was gonna say that leads us to number
Changeling.
one, The Changeling,
Changeling.
directed by Clint Eastwood, if I'm not
Not the
mistaken.
Changeling.
Just Changeling, yeah,
Clint
yeah,
Eastwood directed it.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, Clint Eastwood directed it. And if you want a good story, like a lot of people say, a story is everything. Story is the basis.
Mm,
You have a fascinating story. And a lot of Clint films are story focused.
mhm,
But this is one of
yeah.
his best, and it's not often discussed. It is a shocking story. It's based on a true story. A real woman, Christine Collins, who her son was kidnapped, and the police, after a few months, find him and say, "We're going to reunite you with your son in front of the press to get all
Mm.
the attention for the newspapers, the cameras flashing."
I have
But the
chills
boy that
right
comes
now.
off the
Just I
train
have chills
is not her
just thinking
son.
about it. Like just
Mm-hmm.
this. Oh, it gets you
Yeah,
under your skin. But keep going, keep
it does.
going. Yeah,
So the
yeah,
boy is not her son.
yeah.
And everyone in the police is like, well, maybe you're just not thinking straight. Maybe he's just changed after the few months that he
Mm.
was, this boy has nowhere else to go. So you should really take him in. And so the cameras are flashing, taking pictures of them. I know, it's awful. And they continued to gaslight
Mm.
and tell her that this boy is her son when she knows he's not. Even when he's a few inches shorter, his teeth are not the same, according to his dentist. He doesn't sit in the right seat
Mm.
in class. His teacher can testify against the police officers too. But because she kept saying, "This boy is not my son," she was thrown in a psych ward. Everyone
Mm.
told her she was crazy, but this was her son. And it is a shocking, absolutely shocking story. It is a painful watch. It's a tough watch, but this was her, in my opinion, her second best role, second best performance. Number one, Girl Interrupted as Lisa Rowe.
Mm-hmm.
Always number one. It's a near impossible role to top that. You know, that was just, she embodied that. She inhibited that role. But Changeling is a close second. And I've noticed how subtle how she's able to emote through the screen to an audience. The only one I can really think who can do that so well is Shirley MacLaine. But I noticed this watching Angelina in Changeling for the first time in years, that she has that power. So I just wish she was better known for dramatic roles and that she was given more opportunities to be in dramatic roles, like Gia, like Girl Interrupted, like Maria, like Changeling, like A Mighty Heart, because she is one of our great dramatic actresses. And of course, the celebrity is interesting and she's one of the most beautiful women ever. But her talent is not discussed and
Yep.
valued as much as it should. Clint Eastwood also very much agrees about this very sentiment that her celebrity overpowers her true talent. And that's another reason to love Clint Eastwood, because he recognizes it and he put her in her best film.
And
Thanks
that
for
is
coming to my TED Talk.
no, but that's specifically why when you mention the Angela Jolie episode, and you didn't say nothing about it yet, but the first thing that came to my mind was By the Sea, because she directed the film, she shot the film, they shot the film during their honeymoon. So Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie,
Yeah.
they were on their honeymoon together. So it's like this whole thing, very like, it's raw. Clearly, it's a couple. They have a conflict. And I feel like there's a lot of things that Angelina wanted to say about their relationship when she made that film. And that was maybe not necessarily what the audience was expecting. I don't know what people were expecting from that movie, but clearly you have like, Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie. It's not Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It's not that. Like it's like the complete opposite of that. But it's the way that film, I feel like, showcase her talent as an actress, as a director, and how she's like a great talent, and yet nobody talks about that film. Nobody remembered that film. Nobody, like, if I say By the Sea, like,
No one.
what is this picture? And it was freaking Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie in the movie. And if I go on
And
IMDb, it's like 5.3 on like 5.3 out of 10.
yeah,
It makes no sense to me. It's okay. People can have their
no.
own opinion, but it's a movie that's like criminally underrated. Like it doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm so happy you appreciate that one. I've only seen it once and I will rewatch it. But I remember thinking this is not as bad as audiences, critics are saying.
No.
And that's common in her work. You know, there are some people that maybe they're not in consistent masterpieces, but they get great reviews for their performances. And she's one of those people. Another film, I don't know if you've seen this, Life or Something Like It, her one and only rom-com. It is a
No.
very good film.
No,
It's
I
a
have
genuinely
not.
good rom. Netflix. It just recently went on Netflix and it hit like number one. People are loving it. It was a hard film to find for years. It took me years to find this film years ago. I'm so curious your thoughts on that. I have a film historian friend who loves it.
Life, sorry,
Life or Something Like It.
yeah, I got it. I got it. All right, perfect.
Yeah,
Got it.
watch it. It's a good one. It's a good
Yeah.
one, I swear.
All right,
I
all right, all right.
watch it and I'm like, I don't fully understand what's wrong with it. Like, it's genuinely good.
There's probably
But
nothing wrong with it. Sometimes it's just like a matter
no.
of when it comes out, how people are like
Hmm.
perceiving movies at that time, and then they just like it's being like it's like an etiquette. It's like, okay, this movie is bad,
Yeah.
and then you put it in the bad file, and then when like so
Yes.
people don't want to watch that because well, I heard it's bad. Who said that? Who said that? Like people like 20 years ago? Who
They're
the fuck?
wrong.
Like yeah,
20 years ago,
exactly. Yeah,
what
exactly.
do
They're
they know?
Yeah, and that's the
Yeah,
feeling
very
I had
well.
with By the Sea. And I'm not saying it's a
Mhm.
masterpiece. It's just it's extremely artistic. It's very powerful. There's a lot of
Yeah.
things being said. It's very personal. The movie, it's like written and directed by Angelina Jolie Pitt, and it's like the whole thing. And we know what happened afterwards, so that makes it the whole thing even more like kind of like personal in some ways.
Uh-huh.
And you rewatch it, and let me know what you think about it. I don't think it's her best performance, but the movie itself, I love it very much.
The other night you said that Wanted was a big deal for you,
Oh
and
yeah.
I was like, okay, things are making sense now. But did you have a crush on Angelina when you saw her as Lara Croft?
Well, obviously, who doesn't? Like she's
Yeah.
yeah, well, 100%. And of
Dumb
course
question, sorry.
well, no, it's not a dumb question, but it's just like so obvious. She's an extremely beautiful woman, but also it's a character that I feel like they really I don't want to say sexualize her, but they portrayed it in a way that she was like very, it was the objective. I feel that was that she was appealing to man on the poster. With just look at the poster. I feel like all the answers are are out there. So, but she's actually like a great actress. So I don't like. Obviously it's one of her lowest rated film. I don't think it's a very good film, but it's something that just like sticks in your mind, and it was such a big part of the pop culture back then. So I guess it's tough to not discuss that film. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the one that really put her on the map and established her as a giant movie star.
Yeah.
She continued to do amazing action movies. I really do like Salt. I like Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think of what other action. Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow is I'd say a hidden gem, but she has a very supporting role in that.
It's such a special film, like very you know I think that the director didn't do anything afterwards. I'm trying to look at the same time, but that was like this one time thing, and such a specific style to the film with the black and white, the blue screens and
Yes.
everything. So it's very very peculiar. I do remember also, that's something I remember vividly when it came out, but unfortunate that he was not able to do anything afterwards. But when you mentioned Hidden Gem, that would be one of them, because
Oh
I
yeah.
feel like she fit so well in that film, which kind of has like this film noir aesthetic,
Mm-hmm.
very old school, and with her high patch and everything. I do remember that very well. Yeah.
I can't believe you've seen Sky Captain. Of course you've seen Sky Captain. You've seen the other hidden gems in Angelina's filmography. I shouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised, but I'm so happy you've seen that one.
If you had to ask me my like favorite action movie from Angelina Jolie, like without a doubt for me it's Wanted. Such a
Ah.
cool freaking film. I was gonna swear, but like, well, that's something that my 14-year-old brain was not able to comprehend. Like just the bullet, curving and everything, and just the whole thing was so special. I really loved it, and of course she's just stealing the whole show. Like she's completely
Yes.
breathtaking, like absolutely breathtaking in that film. Yeah.
I love the scene where she's in was it a gas station or a convenience store, some
Yeah.
that sort of thing, and then she just appears right next to James McAvoy giving the stare down,
Yeah.
and it's so intimidating. And that stunt
Yeah.
where she's on the truck and then she's like lies flat on her back, it's like under a tunnel or something. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
That was so cool.
And I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, sometimes I think she do some of her stunts, not all the time, but in Salt, I feel like she did. So I'm curious if she did some in Wanted, but she was clearly like very invested in that film in terms of like bringing her whole persona to the character. It's not just like, oh, okay, another day at work. You can clearly tell it was like important for her to to just pull it out, because she freaking did. Yeah,
Yes.
that was awesome. Yeah.
Salt is one I've seen Salt far more than Wanted, and I
Mm.
just enjoy it. It's just a fun movie. Like even the looks that she has, like she goes from black hair, blonde
Yeah.
hair. She even
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
transforms into a guy for a little
Yeah.
bit. It
Yeah.
was just such a exciting ride. It's one of my favorite female-led action movies, and it doesn't get enough credit, but it's also I was a little confused by how it was left. It's kind of ambiguous because I don't think we fully know Evelyn Salt by the end, if she's the good person or bad. I think we may have answers, but I remember years ago looking and searching all online, and people were not they didn't know. So it seemed to be ambiguous, but it was a good movie. It's another just fun watch alongside Mr. and Mrs. Smith and what I mean, yes, Sky Captain. And I would say The Tourist. The Tourist was an enjoyable watch too.
You know what? I think I've started that one and didn't finish it. It's not because I hated it. It just like didn't. I don't know. Sometimes it happens, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's one of those that I didn't really like see. But it's such an interesting film when you look at it, because obviously it's like there's bad reviews, but it's shot on location. You have Johnny Depp, Angelina Jolie. So I feel like I was very attracted to like, why people hate it so much. And I started it, and I don't think I finished it, but it's not because like I actually don't remember it all that much. That's what I have to say about it. Yeah, but Salt is very interesting. I liked it. Didn't necessarily love it. Maybe I should rewatch it because, like you mentioned, I love how she's always like switching her style and everything, and you can tell her range as an actress. It's one way to showcase that. Yeah,
absolutely. I know you mentioned your favorite action movie of hers is Wanted, but is there one of any genre of all the films she's done that you would say that's my favorite of hers?
The thing is, my answer is By the Sea in some weird way.
It is By the Sea, okay.
Yes, and I feel like this. I feel like I should like rewatch like Girl Interrupted in those films, but I don't know. There's something about By the Sea because it's not. I have trouble. That's why I have trouble answering that. Okay, because that's I feel like it's obviously not. I don't think it's her specifically like best performance per se. It's not the best movie, but I don't know. It's the one I go back to.
It's an intriguing film.
Yes, it is actually. It's very, very intriguing. That's a good way to put it. But I mean, of course, she like. I would say Changeling would be like the logical. For me, like number one, but there's something about By the Sea that I actually like. I really need to mention that one. But Changeling, I feel like the good answer for me would be Changeling. Yeah.
I'm 100% with you on Changeling.
I think my favorite film of hers is Girl Interrupted. Her character in that movie was such a great juxtaposition to the lead character in that movie played by Winona Ryder. And I just remember their dynamic on film was so incredible, and the contrast that those two had and how explosive Angelina Jolie was. I just feel like she was able to bring this insane performance, like literally, but also like it was just super insanely talented. And it just stuck with me. And the last scene where she's like painting her nails and she's laying in the hospital bed, strapped down, just like it's like ingrained in my memory.
I wanted to dedicate a section on mostly me just talking about films that I didn't really get to discuss at length in this episode. So I will be talking about Life or Something Like It, Maleficent, and Changeling. Life or Something Like It. Angelina's one and only rom-com. I love this movie. Life or Something Like It received poor reviews and a low box office turnout when it was released in 2002, which just makes no sense. I'm sorry, I don't get it. The poor reviews are so undeserved. I've seen it 3 times now, and as I watch it, I can't quite find its weaknesses as easily as I can in other rom-coms. But it's a genuinely good rom-com, and I love a rom-com. Maybe the poor reviews are why it was such a rare find for a while. When I first became a fan of hers and was going through her filmography, Life or Something Like It was always high on the list of films of hers I had yet to see. I forget how long it took me to find it somewhere on streaming, but it was definitely a harder find. It was recently added on Netflix, and it hit the top 10 most watched list, which is just incredible. It's so nice to see this reaction. I hope Angelina noticed that. It's not a film that she talks too much about, but it's refreshing to see Angelina in such a different role. She really, I'd say, is quite versatile in her work. She's done action, drama, fantasy, sci-fi, historical films, even if there aren't too many examples of each. You haven't seen her in a film like this before, and you haven't seen her in anything like this after. In the film, Angelina plays a blonde local news reporter, Lanny Kerrigan, who, while on the job reluctantly working with camera guy and former short-lived flame Pete, played by Edward Burns, learns from a psychic homeless man that she will die in 1 week. Typical rom-com plotline, right? Well, during this time, Lanny, who is very career-driven and at times a little sharp around the edges, softens as she relaxes a little bit more and takes a look at her life and those within it. She betters her relationship with her dad, sister, and Pete, who really becomes a source of comfort to her. I don't want to say too much since this movie really keeps you in suspense and always guessing. My friend Caitlin and I, she's been a guest on the show before, see the Easy Rider episode, have started to have these really fun remote movie nights. Since I was preparing for this episode, I asked if she'd be interested in watching this film with me, and she was, so we had a great time watching it remotely together. It was especially fun to hear her in such suspense until the end of the movie, so I don't want to deprive anyone of that feeling. Just find the movie on Netflix, or better yet, get it on DVD, and let me know what you think in the comments of this episode, on Instagram, YouTube. I just would love to learn if more people also find this to be a good film. How amazing would it be if we collectively increased the too low scores on the film across the board on IMDb, Letterboxd, and Rotten Tomatoes? Maybe it will encourage Angelina to make another rom-com? Okay, maybe that hope is a little bit of a stretch. But she recently became attached to a comedy film, so I think anything is possible. She is entering her challenging herself era. It could happen. I have hope. Changeling, my favorite Angelina film, which not many people have seen. Since my last rewatch, I have been writing an analysis on the film, but I have yet to finish it because I get so caught up editing and researching, preparing this podcast. So I will read what I have written so far, and hopefully one day I can get this finished and post it. This is definitely shaping up to be a long analysis. Oh wow, I forgot how much I had written. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 paragraphs already written, and I wasn't even through the half of the film. Alright, yeah, I'll just read the first paragraph. This is a lot. Okay. For the first time in several years, I revisited Clint Eastwood's gravely underrated hidden gem, Changeling. I have watched Changeling at least 6 times by now, and although I feel the impact of the shocking real-life story with each watch, I caught myself tearing up more often than during previous viewings. The unbelievable story that the film is based on, from the premise to how it unfolds, easily earns the film an 8 out of 10 or 4 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd rating. What elevates the film is Angelina's performance as Christine Collins, a mother of a young boy who has gone missing. She is gaslit to an immoral degree by the LAPD, who reunite her with her missing son, all for positive press and faith in the force. The reunion sounds all well and good, except the boy the officer presented to her, in front of photographers ready to flash their cameras, is not her son. I won't get into the full story through an analysis today. This time I want to dig a little deeper into Angelina Jolie's portrayal and character of Christine Collins. Should I read one more paragraph? Okay, I'll read one more paragraph. But also, this just goes to show how, I'm very organized. I like to write and prepare, and sometimes podcast and talking, because I'm shy, is not the best format for me to present my analysis and thoughts on film. Sometimes writing is a lot easier. So here's the next paragraph, as I have written so far. We first meet Christine as she wakes and goes about her ordinary morning routine with her young son, Walter. The camera is a fly on the wall to Christine waking her son up, having breakfast, taking the bus, and getting off at different stops, with Walter getting off to school, and Christine continues on to work, where she is a supervisor at a telephone company. Oh, minor note here, this film is set in the late 20s, 1929, if I remember correctly. She is a single mother who enjoys the responsibility of being Walter's mother, as opposed to his father, who ran out on them the day Walter was born. She seems to have her and Walter's weekday routines down pat, allowing her to devote her weekends to quality time with Walter. On one regular Saturday, Christine plans to fulfill her promise to Walter to take him to the movies, but that quickly becomes canceled when she is called into work with no one else but her available to fill in. She reluctantly agrees to come in after explaining her anticipated plans with Walter. As she leaves a disgruntled Walter home alone, she promises they will go to the cinema tomorrow and will be back before it gets dark. I guess, yeah, maybe I should stop there. It's a long analysis. I love this film. It's one that I continuously bring up to others. It's very much story-focused, which is often what Clint Eastwood's films are about. They're often story-focused. It's often a great story with his stellar direction. And I've been a Clint fan since I feel like I've always known who Clint Eastwood was. But I have added appreciation for him because he too agrees in that Angelina's dramatic talents are overlooked because of her celebrity, the fascination from the media, the focus of her in the media. And what he did with this film was he really put her dramatic talents on display. She earned an Oscar nomination for this film.
Maleficent, released in 2014, was a big moment in Angelina's career for a few reasons. Not only was it a big Disney movie, but it really marked the beginning of a trend in making films about a villain, placing a villain in the lead role as a protagonist of sorts, definitely the protagonist of her own story, in which we, the audience, get a perspective of for the first time. Now, I'm not sure if this was the first one to do it or the first one in a while to do it, but I certainly noticed a trend after Maleficent came out. Aside from that, this movie is important to discuss because it really is the perfect character for Angelina to play, as it is a sort of culmination of both the action and drama roles she's most famous for playing. We see this batty, wicked villain character who transforms into a mother figure who becomes sensitive to children. Of course, life reflects art here once again, because as the film progresses and Maleficent's villainous nature softens to being that loving mother figure, you can't help but be reminded of her public image shift from being the, quote, wild child to being a humanitarian as a UN ambassador and good mother to 6 kids. As I mentioned earlier, this was the first Angelina film I ever saw, and it wasn't until I rewatched it to prepare for this episode that I really sat down and watched it. I had caught a few scenes here or there when playing on TV or on social media, but I'm happy to say I enjoyed the movie more now than I did when I saw it on opening day in IMAX. I forgot how much of a drama it is, which is also probably why I like the movie, since I love Angelina in a dramatic role. There's also some comedy, which is another delight, since even though Angelina questions if she's good at comedy, she really is very good at it. One scene that comes to mind is when Aurora says, "You're my fairy godmother," and Maleficent's reaction was so deadpan before she put Aurora back to sleep. The comedy is more slight in this film, but it lightens the film just enough. Maleficent may not be a film mentioned too much by others in this episode, but it was necessary to take a moment to talk about because of it being a perfect casting and one of the biggest hits later in Angelina's career. I did rewatch By the Sea after you talked so highly of it, and my opinion hasn't really changed from the first time I saw it years ago.
And what was your opinion?
I just felt like I was really, again, intrigued by it, but I just didn't feel like the meaning was entirely graspable to the audience. I feel like if there was just a little bit more depth, a little bit more detail, it would have been a beautiful art film and beautiful, just a more full film, I guess.
There's something about it that makes it a little bit tough to empathize with her character at first, because first of all, like her first line in the film, they come out of the car of this beautiful, like all the beautiful landscape and everything, and with the music, with the old school, Universal logo. And I think her first line in the film is like, "Smells like fish." So it kind of seems like a annoying tourist that would go somewhere. So I feel like it becomes difficult to maybe relate to her character as an audience, because there's a lot of moments like that. And once the movie progresses, now you get some flashback and you realize like there's this kind of like history of abuse between her and Brad Pitt. So also obviously this was filmed during their honeymoon at a time where I guess things were tumultuous between them, so it makes it kind of like even more authentic and I feel impersonal in some ways. But there's something at first that makes it very difficult, I think, for the audience to relate to her character and understand what's going on. So I do understand your point of like it needed a little bit more flesh to it, if I may say so.
Yeah. Now, I had forgotten that they made this during their honeymoon until you mentioned it the other night, which is so fascinating that they went to Malta to make this film during their honeymoon.
I need to double check because it's like one of those IMDb trivia thing. So I would like to fact check this, like to make sure it's very we're not like misleading people, but it was obviously during that time where things were tumultuous. And one of the things I really loved about it was the work from the cinematographer Christian Berger. He was using a lot of natural light. There was no no big lights put it on, always making use of the sun as a source of light, and that makes the film has a very specific aura to it. I feel like I'm going on a trip. I'm traveling every time I'm watching the movie, you know what I'm saying?
Well, this film is very much like an endless summer vacation. Without the first and last shots of them arriving and then leaving, it would have been like an infinite loop, kind of a surreal feeling.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
time is like a concept at that point, because it's every day. We just see like the sun goes up, sun goes down. We see their routine. He goes away, she stays in mostly.
Yeah,
and it's just like constant. So I'm happy that we had this kind of like distinct beginning point and end point within the film. It needed that, and it needed to show that there was a change in their relationship, because it seems to be more hopeful the way it ends.
It does actually, and I think you know what, the way I see it, it's it was therapy for them. I feel like they were going through like a difficult phase maybe in their couple, and there was maybe a way to get it out there, and you know how it ended up. But just double checking and confirming, it was actually filmed on their honeymoon. So they filmed it on Gozo, Malta. So I think it's on an island, and it was in November 2014. So Entertainment Weekly, People Magazine confirmed it was actually filmed their honeymoon. So this is weird, right? Like you're on your honeymoon and you're filming a movie. Yeah.
Or your relationship is strained.
Absolutely, yeah. The word you use, intriguing, is how I would call that film, because it's in a way like it's not obviously was not well received. Like I don't see it as a masterpiece. So there's thing in it is like, why am I so like drawn to that film? So that's something about it, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's beautiful. Like the images, the cinematography, as you said, with the lighting is stunning. The location they filmed at in Malta was beautiful. The fashion by Angelina. Oh my gosh. I want her whole wardrobe, just like I did for The Tourist. Like, it was just a really stunning film, and I was trying to find the right words to describe the cinematography, because the colors, they're vibrant, but they're not like Pedro Almodovar world vibrant.
Yeah.
They're, I don't want to say desaturated a little bit, because the color still pops, but it's more, I guess, white toned. I don't know. How did you describe it? You probably can describe it better.
Well, it's exactly what I mentioned earlier. It's the use of natural lighting that makes it even more authentic. It feels natural. It feels like you live in the real world. It doesn't feel like a movie lighting. You know what I mean? Like, because usually you would have like this giant light pushing through the window from inside out, and with those big beams of lights, and it makes it even more like cinematic. But what they do here is they use like a lamp to do the lighting, and there's a outdoor sequence at night. I think Angelina Jolie's coming back from acting the little market, and she's just walking the street, and all the light is natural. I feel like there's it's the word in French, I'm sorry, lampadaire, like the light outside just set up in the street. So this is what makes it the source of lighting. So the fact that it's shot in a natural way makes it very much authentic, and it doesn't feel like it's like a movie. You mentioned Pedro. Pedro, obviously this one has a lot of complicated setup for his lighting. I'm completely sure of that, and that's why this film feels a little bit more like you said desaturated, but it is very colorful in some way. I'm actually like, I have it in the background right now while we're talking, and I see all those orange and blue popping off in some way, but it's very subtle. But it's also the fact that you have Angelina Jolie like by a window, and there's the beautiful sea in the back, so there's the source of color there, but it's not overblown. So maybe that's why it feels that way to you.
I think that's the key word. It's not overblown. It's not overly saturated. I can see the tool on editing softwares of what they're doing to it, but I can't remember the term. But you mentioned the oranges. That was the color that really comes to mind, as well as the blue sea. Now, the big reveal at the end of the film, what the film builds up to, is the revelation that Vanessa is barren. But there are hints of potentially cheating in the past when Vanessa says, "You know my reason. You're a drunk." So is it safe to say we do not have all the answers? The audience is not let into all of what's made them who they are in their relationship today?
Absolutely, and we discussed about that a little bit earlier, but I feel like the film is structured in a way that you mentioned it's a reveal. I think that might have been a mistake. Like maybe if it's been more obvious to the, to the audience what they're going through, we would empathize with them a little bit more. So I don't know if that's a mistake or not. Again, kind of interesting that you mentioned that, but I mean, obviously, some things are left to interpretation, and it's what makes this movie feel like really personal to Angelina Jolie, which actually we talked about that the other day, but it's directed, written, and produced by Angelina Jolie Pitt, and it's the only film that has that that name, this title card, because she obviously doesn't use that name for the film. So
Nope.
there's something about that like it's very intriguing, but yes, a lot left to interpretation.
Do you happen to remember the trailer for the film?
I do, yes.
How there was no dialogue?
Yeah. They were trying to sell the location and everything, but it was kind of a very artistic trailer. Yeah. Yeah.
I remember seeing that in theaters, and I just remember being again, the key word with this film is intriguing, because it was so different. We just see these beautiful images of two of the most beautiful people in Hollywood, beautiful people in the world, and there's no dialogue. So there's a mystique that's created within that trailer that is shown throughout the film. And you mentioned subtlety in the colors in the image. So much of what the film leads up to and hints at is very subtle. Even the flirting and the questionable, seemingly what could happen between Angelina's Vanessa and Francois, I believe the other character's name was.
Yes, I think it is, yeah.
Like little subtle things of, they're talking and then Brad's character Roland is inside hearing them. But there's a lot of points where there's discussion, but it's inaudible, which very much adds to the mystery of the film.
Yeah, and there's this character that's very intriguing to the film, important to the film. Sorry, it's I think his name is Michelle in the film. It's played by played by Niels Aristrup. He's the bartender.
Yes.
So it's one of the first character that they meet, and he explains his background with his wife and everything. And I feel like it's a character that's kind of there to tell Brad Pitt's character Roland, like, it's important to have a relationship with someone and to spend time with them, even through the good or the bad. This character is something that also very interesting in the film, because it had some layers. Because we talked about how it feels like an endless loop and like a trip. We're going on vacation, and so there's not necessarily a structure in the film, but it's one of those little details in the film I feel like makes it fun to rewatch it, because they have like this relationship.
You mentioned Michelle, and I was curious, are we meant to find parallels between Michelle and his wife and Roland and Vanessa?
Oh, I think so, obviously. In some ways, it's he's trying to share his own life experience, maybe to tell Brad Pitt's character, because clearly he can tell every time he comes at the bar, Roland is drinking and everything. So maybe it's a way for him to say, like, hey man, like, maybe you can try to enjoy what you have while you have it. But it's also there's a lot of scenes. I'm sorry, I'm watching it while we're talking, but there's a lot of scene of Angelina Jolie kind of like staring into space, and just you don't know what she's thinking specifically. So maybe that's why it was so tough for the audience to connect with the film, because it was, if I would look on IMDb, I think it's like 5.3 out of 10, 20 or 30% on Rotten Tomatoes, which to me is kind of baffling, to be honest, because there's a lot of good qualities in that film.
Several of her films have ratings similar to that. Life or Something Like It, again, I still feel should be rated much higher than it is on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes. And even Girl Interrupted has a low Rotten Tomatoes score, which is interesting considering the cult following that it's accumulated over the years. So, do you as well find plenty of parallels between Mr. and Mrs. Smith and By the Sea?
Sorry, do you know why I'm laughing? I remember making a post on, was it on Reddit? And I was saying, like, this was like a prequel to Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It was kind of a joke. But yes, I do. Obviously, it's not just because it's Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. But in both films, it's a couple. They have like conflicting ideas. There's some frictions between them. So I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's both of them that was so easy to make a parallel to. But I 100% did. I remember making a whole post about that on Reddit. But I feel like it's the way the both the relationship and the film are being portrayed. There are some similarities, in those, yeah.
I was surprised by how many parallels there were. Like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Brad's character is the one to pursue her while she resists or fights back, literally in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, until he softens her and she has a newfound love for him. But it's more gradual in By the Sea, and they both fall into the roles of husband and wife, and they become comfortable in their routine, but their passions and what brings them together is, in By the Sea is questionably perverse, as Brad's character Roland asks at one point. And in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it's through, they're both assassins and they're, shooting and on the run and all that. And there's also other little moments that were, I thought were really kind of funny because it just seemed to be direct nods to it. She comes back and she's drenched from the rain, and Roland is hugging Vanessa.
Yeah.
And they had a good night. The scene is left of him holding her face. And in the morning, when Roland wakes, he's alone in bed. And then soon after, she comes in with coffee. Doesn't that remind you of a scene in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, except it's Brad going to get the coffee and Angelina in bed?
Yeah. Absolutely, and everything you're pointing out is it's very correct. Also, the fact that they're both hiding things from each other in both films. Obviously, in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it's very obvious. That's the whole point of the film. But in By the Sea, you talk about the cheating and all those little details. You can clearly tell they're hiding things. Also, the scene where Angelina Jolie find out there's a hole in the room, so she can peek and watch like as a voyeur. She's looking at the other room, what's going on. So clearly at the beginning, like she hides it from Roland, from Brad. There's this scene where they both like start drinking and looking in the hole and everything, but you can clearly tell they're hiding things from each other in both films. And so their relationship, there's a lot of parallels in that. Yeah.
The voyeurism is especially an interesting aspect because we're often as an audience looking at them, but they're kind of like looking into the world of someone else.
Yeah.
Which is so interesting as them being the world's famous people that they are.
Mm-hmm.
Often when I think of voyeurism, I think of Rear Window. I think that's one of the prime examples of it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a question of whether we participate or we just observe. And they participated. They experimented and they try to get the couple drunk to see what would happen so they can watch them.
It's basically peeking into someone's life because they're all they're watching. But also it seems to them, I feel like she was seeing them as the perfect couple. Like they're having fun in bed. They look like they're always happy. They're enjoying their vacation. So I don't know if it was a little bit of jealousy there or maybe trying to understand why are they so happy. But I love the fact that they started to interact with them and it became part of the movie. And you know what? So, why this movie is so intriguing? Like, why, of all the things Angelina Jolie could do, why would she do that film? You know what I mean? Like, why would she?
I have an idea.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I think she just recently said this. I'm not sure if she said this before, but it's the first time I definitely heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, her mom really wanted her to do films in French.
Yeah.
So, there is some French speaking in the film, mostly on Brad's part.
Oh
when
boy,
he's at the bar. Yeah.
Terrible accent.
Really?
But keep going. Yeah. Keep going.
I think if she speaks French, it's only a little bit because she's more secluded from everyone.
Mm-hmm.
She has a film coming up called Couture. I'm not sure if it's an entirely French language film, but it's obvious to say that I'm very excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be something different for her, but I think maybe that was part of it. Maybe that at least was part of the intrigue of filming there and having French incorporated into the film. But that's my reasoning. I don't know the exact story.
Yeah, but her mother apparently was a big fan of that movies from that era, so that's why there's this like vintage Universal logo at the beginning, and the movie's set in the 60s, 70s. So Everything you're saying makes sense. Also, yeah, I'm seeing right now on your page couture. Okay, so it's a movie about fashion in Paris and everything. So that's interesting. I'm curious to see what's going on. But yeah, she could do anything. She could do anything she wants. So like, why this is something that boggles my mind a little bit. But I love the fact that this movie exists. Yeah. That's what we can say about it. Yeah.
It's so different for her, and it's much more artistic than many of her like big Hollywood blockbuster movies. There's no film really like this in her filmography, and it's the only film in which she directs that she stars in. So that's definitely worth noting as well, because the other films she's directed are more focused on war, based on real life. There's Unbroken. Without Blood is supposed to be hitting theaters soon, I hope. That stars Salma Hayek. But yeah, she's been doing a war series.
Oh, she has a huge part of her career, which is humanitarian. Like, she's doing a lot of work on that side, and I feel like it's being reflected in her choice of movies.
So I think when I think of her career, I definitely think in the beginning of her career, she sort of played these like rebellious characters, these kind of wild on the edge characters. And then you could sort of see this transition into these like action hero characters, which obviously works well for her because there's obviously like, I don't know what you call like black cat energy, or this sort of like, there is like a masculine element to her. So it plays really well on film. But she's an amazing dramatic actress. So like, I would definitely love to see that softer side of her and see her in more of like a nurturing, caretaking role, or something that feels like it's just buried beneath the surface. Like it just hasn't quite sprouted out yet. And just to see her explore like other parts of her femininity in that way, I think would be really, really interesting.
And I remember we also discussed Those Who Wish Me Dead the last time we talked. Yeah. That's one I think that's very interesting in terms of like Taylor Sheridan is a great director, and her role specifically was very interesting. Also, it's something about firefighters. There's always, I feel like she always chooses her projects very specifically, and that's why I will never understand why she did The Eternals.
Wait, so, okay, you don't like Eternals?
No, I'm not a fan of The Eternals, but she was good in it.
Interesting, because...
She was good.
I actually liked Eternals.
Yeah?
I'm not quite into Marvel so much anymore, but what brought me back was Angelina. Mm-hmm. And it was a very interesting role because you understand why she chose to do it, because the whole family is like an international family all around the world. It reflects her own family in real life with her kids. And her character there's a bit of drama within her character and her backstory. So, and trauma, which I think she even noted recently that every character she's played within the past 10 years has trauma. Mm-hmm. I don't know if she read into that a little bit, but I just remember her making note of that. But yeah, she had a supporting role in Eternals. Of course, I would have loved to see her have more screen time, but I thought it was just a great excuse to see her back on the big screen, and it was a big part of her kind of resurgence. Mm-hmm. This came out in 2021, a few months after Those Who Wish Me Dead, and for a few years, it just seemed that she wasn't really interested in being an actress. She wanted to be more behind the scenes or focus on her humanitarian work. So there was a few years where I was a little nervous that she wouldn't ever be on screen again. And when she did Eternals, it was a big moment. It was kind of like, okay, she's back. And especially because Those Who Wish Me Dead was a few months before. And then it took 3 more years until Maria came out. And now she has a few more films in the works. One even is a comedy, which is very exciting.
Ooh, yes. Looking forward to that.
Yes, with Amy Lou Wood from The White Lotus.
Oh my God, I love her so much. I love her so much.
Which Angelina film is at the top of your watch list?
Maria, no doubt. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I've heard some, but you're not the only one. By the way, when you tell me like this movie's good, you should watch it, I 100% trust you, and I
Thank
put
you.
it on top of my list. But you're not the only one who've been mentioning how great she is in it. One of my friends and great reviewer in Quebec, Maxence, he praised the film a lot, gave it like a 5-star, saying she was like, it was a robbery that she was not even nominated
Yes.
the Oscar. And what's your thought on that?
Oh, you want me to start my rant?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Please do.
So basically, the film came out, and the day of its release on Netflix, which I won't even get into my whole theatrical release that it should have earned rant. When I saw it, I thought, oh, she's going to win the Oscar. This is a beautiful, powerful performance, and her emotions translate from the screen to the audience so well in such a rare way that the only actress that, I'm sure there's many, but the one that I always think of who can emote to an audience so well is Shirley MacLaine.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, especially with the online conversation surrounding the film, this is a no-brainer. She'll be nominated. She'll probably win the Oscar. Oh, was I wrong? Was I wrong? I don't know how it went wrong. I still stand by that she should have won Best Actress. And I've been encouraging my friends to see it so they can agree with me, so they can see why I say such a wild statement. So many people online are outraged, as they should be, and I am so curious what your thoughts are on the film, because I know you really liked Anora, but I'm curious if you think she should have earned a nomination or possibly should have won the Oscar.
Yeah, it's a good point, but there's something about that feels weird, because Netflix, they're no strangers to pushing for awards campaign. Like, they've won Oscars in the past. They've got like a lot of nominations. So maybe they were not confident in the film. Maybe it's weird. I have to see it by myself, but I don't think I even need to do that. Like, it feels like this movie, like, we've seen so many people being nominated for Oscar just because it's a big name, like Kate Blanchett, or I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, it's not. I love Kate Blanchett, but you know what I mean. Sometimes it's just because it's a Meryl Streep, she's nominated. But then you have like this movie which should have been maybe campaigning a little bit more for the Oscars, and she doesn't even get a nomination. So that's weird.
And Netflix chose to promote Emilia Perez over Maria. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I figured that'd get a reaction out of you.
Yes. I'll leave it there. Yes.
Yeah, leave it there.
What qualities does Angelina have that you aspire to acquire in yourself?
I think, to me, Angelina Jolie always seems fearless. I also think there is this beautiful feminine quality to her. She's very articulate. She's very sophisticated, but also has this rough, sort of hard edge to her, which I think is really an interesting personality trait to have, to be able to kind of embody like masculine and feminine energy, which is definitely what I try to do. So I appreciate that in her work.
Who would you like to see her co-star with in the future?
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I've loved everything that she's done with like Johnny Depp, just because I think he's a super fascinating character. And obviously Brad Pitt, they have worked together. Maybe another female character, maybe somebody like Meryl Streep. Like, wouldn't that be kind of interesting? Like, somebody that's also an incredibly talented actor, but it's not like a combination of people that you would think would be together in a movie. I don't know, because they kind of do different types of films. So maybe something like that, like maybe somebody who does like a genre completely separate from her, and then her kind of stepping into a different genre would be really interesting.
For a long time, I've had this really cool idea of an action movie with Angelina Jolie and Charlize Theron. I think that would be an iconic duo. Salt and Atomic Blonde, I mean, come on, like, that's two of the best. So I would love to see Angelina and Charlize work together. I really would love to see Angelina Jolie and Kate Winslet together in a film. I think that would be an unlikely duo in a way, but they're also two of the best of their generation, alongside Charlize again. I don't know what I can see them doing. I mean, a drama would be amazing. Just this year at the Golden Globes, they had a moment, I think at the end of the show, and they were photographed together talking
just to themselves, and it was like, oh my gosh, I love seeing them together. And they had never really been photographed together, so that was so exciting. I mean, my favorite actor is Leonardo DiCaprio, and there have been a few times in which Angelina and Leonardo could have worked together. Leonardo was originally attached to The Good Shepherd, but he dropped out because he wanted to be in Martin Scorsese's The Departed. So Matt Damon took his role, but Matt Damon did both The Departed and The Good Shepherd. I don't think The Good Shepherd has been discussed at all in this episode, and it was a good movie. Definitely a different performance from Angelina. Another example of them almost doing a film together was House of Gucci, actually. I'm not sure if they ever signed on to it, but I heard that they were either the first choices or this was imagined with them in the two lead roles. Who else would I love to see star with Angelina? I often have made comparisons between Angelina Jolie and Jane Fonda. To get them together would be very interesting since they are quite similar in some ways. I even wrote a paper about it. That was the basis of a paper I wrote in terms of their image and how their public image changed over the years, and so I would love to see them together. I'm sure there are so many more that I could think of later, but those are definitely the ones that come to mind first. Is there a director you'd love to see her work with either again or for the first time?
A director that would be so interesting for her to work with would be like Quentin Tarantino. I mean, could you imagine Angelina Jolie in a Quentin Tarantino movie? Like Kill Bill, like that could have been Angelina Jolie, no problem. I think that would be really fun to watch. So Quentin Tarantino, you should send her a letter.
Now, this question may be cheesy, but if you had a chance to meet Angelina Jolie, what would you tell her?
I would just tell her that her fearlessness is beyond inspiring. And I think her humanitarianism is also something that I don't see enough A-list celebrities pursuing as openly as her, and even taking time off of her career to focus on how she can give back and how she can serve humanity as a whole. Obviously, with, you know, what she has done with adopting children and giving money and all the things that she's done, you know, with her philanthropy. I just highly respect that. And I think that's something that I would share with her.
Well, I would say thank you for all you've done to help so many people around the world. Thank you for being a role model to, again, many people around the world.
I've really looked up to you since I was a late teen, which is just around the time you started out in the industry, I believe. Although I wish I had become a fan of yours sooner, I'm happy that I finally did at that time in my life. I want to thank you for your genuineness. I really admire you being unapologetically, authentically yourself. It's very empowering to see, very inspiring. That specific quality is actually one I noticed instantly in Michelle, who you've all heard from in this episode.
You are an inspiring figure in all that you've done, and I don't think there will be another Angelina Jolie, but there should be. There should be more Angelina Jolies. It would be a dream to interview you one day. I've already come up with several questions, and that will only grow. And I just, how she's inspired me, like I got a haircut when I was 21, and it was much shorter than usual. And I felt kind of bad about it. I was going back and forth if did I like it or not. But then I would see pictures of Angelina with her short hair, and I just felt more confident. I felt better about it. She looks great with the short hair, well, then so can I. You know, maybe that sounds weird or whatever. I guess I just want to say thank you on behalf of everyone who admires her, everyone who she's helped. She does everything with grace, and I do hope I get a chance to meet her one day and tell her how much she's impacted me and how integral having her to look to has been as I've grown up. So I appreciate her work immensely in film, and I appreciate her work immensely in her humanitarianism, and just as a person.
Thank you so much. You're the only one who's been able to have a conversation with me for this episode. So thank you for taking the time to help resurrect this episode and make it happen. So thank you so much.
No problem. It's always a pleasure. You know it. We talked for like 3 hours like 2 days ago. Always my pleasure. I just like I said, I just came back from Montreal and totally forgot
you forgot, so I was just
scheduled.
just checking in.
I do apologize.
That's fully okay.
Yeah, I apologize about
Yes,
that,
you
but
did.
hey,
I'm so grateful.
I was there. I did it.
Is there anything that I can plug? Is there anything that's coming up for your YouTube channel? Interviews coming up that you can talk about? Any projects in the works?
Yes, absolutely. I just received an email yesterday. It's an interview for a short film. It's called The Sentry. It's playing at the
cool.
South by Southwest London Festival. That festival, Palm Spring as well. Apparently, it's a very good film. I haven't seen it yet. I'm watching it like during my weekend probably, but looks very interesting. I love the description. The main actor is from Cambodia, which actually, by the way, isn't that the second Angelina Jolie's from Cambodia as well, right? She has the citizenship from Cambodia.
But her son Maddox is from Cambodia, where she filmed Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, which is how she adopted Maddox. So yeah.
So how about that as a plug?
Yes,
it's even related to our topic. So that's something. And I've interviewed yesterday the director and the main actress from The Ritual. We've talked about that. We'll leave it there. But great interview, great actor, great director. Not the big fan of the movie itself.
Okay.
I can say it. It's no worries. But it was fun talking to them, and it should be released in a few days. So a couple of interviews coming out, working on my own documentary, trying to do things I love. So yeah.
Yes, everyone check out Matthieu Côté on YouTube because his interviews are brilliant. All the other videos he makes are incredible. It's very encompassing of film, and yeah, the documentary you have coming up is very exciting, very different, and yeah, everyone just subscribe to Matthieu on YouTube. No, thank you.
So
Always
much,
a pleasure.
Liz. Always a pleasure
thank you
to talk
so
to
much
you.
for helping make this episode happen after all. I'm so grateful.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
I also want to give a big thank you to Michelle Calloway for contributing to this episode. I'm immensely grateful to have had her back on the show. I hope next time we'll do another full-length episode. I would also like to mention that Michelle is planning a second filmmaker forum for August this year. The date has yet to be set, but the first one was a major success and incredibly informative. So, if you're in the Jacksonville area, stay tuned for more information in the next few months about that. If it's anything like her last filmmaker forum in March, you really won't want to miss learning from the fellow filmmaker speakers, and it's an excellent networking opportunity as well. Be sure to follow Michelle on Instagram to stay updated on that, as well as all of her projects, including Tallulah Park, which is doing very well since its film festival run began. Also nominate Michelle for the Rising Star Award for the City of Jacksonville Film and Television Office Annual Awards. I'll be putting the link in the episode description, but if anyone deserves it, it is her. She works incredibly hard, is a genuine artist, and has been working in the industry since she got out of college. I'll absolutely be voting for her, and check out my interview with Michelle, or at least the episode description, if you need some help filling out which awards and accomplishments she's earned over the course of her career so far. Make sure you submit your vote by June 20th. I'm just so grateful to everyone who helped take part in this episode. I know it's quite an ask to say, hey, can you just send some audio real quick to do this and take yourself away from whatever you're doing, but I'm so grateful to everyone who helped with this episode. So thank you. And as I always end, is there a film recommendation, a line from a film, really anything you'd like to conclude this episode with today? I recommend, if you see any film, this episode inspires you to watch any Angelina film, let it be Changeling. It is, again, gravely underrated. I can't put it any other way, because it is an unbelievable true story with a performance that will resonate deeply. But yeah, it's her best film, yet no one talks about it. So yeah, definitely watch that one. As I've said, I've ended every film I've talked about today with, you gotta watch this one, it's a great film. But yeah, you should. Her films don't get enough appreciation. So yeah, take the time and check out her films. Thank you again to everyone who's participated in this episode. Thank you all for listening. And I would like to end today's episode with a quote by Angelina. The sentiment she expresses was instilled in her by her mother, and one she wants to instill in her kids, and by extension to everyone around the world. To be in any way a positive contribution, that's all anybody wants to be. It's all I've ever wanted to be. I wanted to be an artist, be a mother. You want to feel that in your life you've been of use, in whatever way that comes out. Bye, everyone. Special thanks to Michelle Calloway, Matthieu Côté, Dr. Gillian Smith, and Angelina Jolie.